Spain in the FIFA football, also called Soccer World Cup. I learned that one of their players called Lamine Yamal from Spain. He actually has his name from his neighbors. So one of his neighbors was named Lamine, and the other one was named Yamal. His mother had him when he was 16 years old, and his father actually was either 15 or 16 years old. And they actually were not able to afford to pay their rent, so they decided to name their baby after the people that were paying the rent. And I watched some videos or read some text. They were saying that Lamine Yamal grew up in a rough neighborhood, but now he's makes millions of dollars and he has a huge house, and he helped Spain win the FIFA World Cup. And he's only 19 years old, and many people online they were saying, "Oh my gosh, how are his parents so young?" Like I think his father was born in 1992, and that's the age of one of my siblings, and that's very serious. So basically, Spain won, and I learned from the football World Cup that Spain is one of the best countries in the world for football. I didn't even really know that they were so great at football. So maybe that's why other Spanish speaking countries they love to play football. That's what I guess that's their number one sport in most of the countries. So that's really cool. Okay, and then I saw that Ishowspeed really performed at the final of the Football World Cup. I think that he did really well. It's amazing to me that he was not nervous performing in front of all those people. And basically, the guy with the head of the FIFA World Cup, he actually asked him to perform only a couple of days before. And Ishowspeed, he wasn't nervous at all. So he actually does great on stage and in crowds and stuff like that. And that's cool that he's able to do that. That's something that I'm not really good at. I probably would get 0% performing on stage. And also, if it was like a talk show, I would get 0%. I don't really have those kind of skills. But everyone is good in other things, so everyone can't be great at everything. Anyway, so Ishowspeed performing at the FIFA World Cup, it goes to show you that your grades in school don't really mean a lot. It means something, but not a lot, because Ishowspeed was failing school, but he was doing well in streaming, and his mother kicked him out and sent him by his father because he wouldn't study. Hello, Mojo Gaming, how are you? So basically, he's one of the best streamers in the world, and one year he won the award for the best streamer in the world. And yeah, he's been making tons of money, even though he didn't really do well in high school. But he knew what he wanted to do with his life, and he actually was trying to like be successful as a job rather than study high school stuff. And it also goes to show you YouTube is a way to make a lot of money, because Justin Bieber put his stuff on YouTube and then he got his job. Ishowspeed um got paid by YouTube, and then Mr. Beast, he tried for years and years, and he was able to make money from YouTube, and he spent millions of dollars on his. Oh, hi, Mojo Gaming. So basically, Mr. Beast tried for like 7 years, and wasn't getting all the followers, and then afterwards he got tons of followers, and he has tons of charities around the world. Like he helps different countries build wells so that they can have water to drink and different things like that. And he actually recently also got married on a private island in the British Virgin Islands. Oh, hi, my day is going great. Drip Monkey, hope your day is going great also. But yeah, Mr. Beast married a white South African woman. And I think that's really cool. I actually think people they have children from people from other countries. I think it's a great thing. I don't really think that people have to marry people that look different from them, but like for example, if someone's from Latvia and America, they can get married and get children. It's always interesting, and the children get to learn about different parts of the world, and they always remember that people are the same, and then countries are also different at the same time. And I understand that because my mother Her mother is Jamaican, and my mother mostly grew up in Jamaica, and I live on this island called Saint Kitts in the Caribbean. So I understand that countries are different. And then what was very sad, in Guyana, a boat flipped over, and some people were saved, but many people actually died in Guyana. So that's not good at all. They said that the captain tested for cannabis on one crew member, and also they said the boat was really old. I think the boat was like 80 years old. But it's really sad that so many people died, and it's very shocking. And also they said the boat was overfull. I don't really know why people like to overfill boats, because they said they had a list of names of people who they said were on the boat, but many people whose names were not even listed on the boat were also on the boat. So that's not good at all. The same thing happened in St. Kitts Nevis. In history, there is actually a boat called the MV Christina, and it actually, maybe like 50 years ago or something, it actually sunk, and my grandfather's sister actually died on the Christina. So that's not good. And recently, some weeks ago, our boat actually also sank, but everyone was saved with life jackets, and the boat wasn't really far from shore. And they said they heard that the boat's engine or something made a loud noise. So that's not good. And then I read an article from the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. So the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, they're giving 25 million EC dollars to member countries, I guess, for them to split among themselves so that they can invest in skill development and other things. And I think it's cool, because I don't really think a lot of the countries have money. Most of the countries are probably in debt. And what I learned some weeks ago, I was surprised. China actually also is in debt. I didn't even think China was in debt, but that goes to show that I don't really know a lot about China. But sometimes I watch this guy on TikTok or Red Note or Instagram, I don't remember where. He's in China. Many people keep on telling him, I keep on asking him why his skin is so dark, and I keep on telling him that his skin is too dark. I'm surprised many people in China don't really know about other countries in the world and other people. So I'm not sure if they teach about that in Chinese schools. But yeah. And then I achieved the July badge on Duolingo. I was just playing Duolingo maybe 5 days out of 7 days in the week, and I didn't really think I was gonna get enough points to get the Duolingo badge, but I actually was mistaken, because when it was 13 days left, I only needed 12 more points. So the next days I tried to get 2 points each day to finish it quickly before the days are finished, and I finished the July batch faster than 90.9% of people. So I've been doing Spanish and French for weeks now. I dropped learning Mandarin and Hindi because they were taking up too much time, and eventually I want to finish the Duolingo levels. It might take me a really, really long time, like years, to finish those levels, but at least I'll be focusing on Spanish and French. So yeah, hopefully in the future I'm able to read French and understand what it's saying. So that's cool. Um, and one of the ways to get a lot of points on on Duolingo, the more friends you have, you can actually have something called friend quest. And then sorry. And then from this friend quest, if you guys both complete the challenge together, you get extra points. Other than if you were just playing by yourself all the time. And one thing about friend quest, it depends on how well the people play. I don't really think it's fair. Like for example, if someone is extremely good at Duolingo and they play really often, the challenge for the friend quest is gonna be that hard. But if you're someone who doesn't play a lot, the challenge is less hard. So yeah. Like I have an aunt who plays Duolingo really well, and I realized in the past when I used to play friend quest, they were way too difficult for me to try to complete. So I was like, nope, I'm gonna just choose people that are not basically so extreme about Duolingo and play it. I also started following people on TikTok who teach French. Like they teach you different phrases. One guy, I think he's called Francisco, and he has a book. I can't really remember the name of the book. And then this other girl I just followed yesterday, she was showing she actually was showing like lyrics in French. She was like translating them for you to understand what it's saying. And also, some days ago, I noticed that one day, St. Kitts actually felt like 103 degrees Fahrenheit, and the other day was 91 degrees Fahrenheit. And I didn't even really know that about St. Kitts. I thought that we didn't really have that much humidity, and I thought it was more like Charlotte, North Carolina, because when I was there, the air there was extremely hot, and the sun wasn't really shining as much, but the air was killing me in the summer. But other times during the year, the sun really wasn't doing anything, in my opinion. It was just up there, and I was like, "What are you doing? You're doing nothing." But that's just because I have some melanin. That's not really anything else. Like I felt like I was losing energy because of the sun. Can you say my name, Zenny Ginger? Zenny Ginger? Okay, well, okay. And then, um, I had too much ice cream like the last 4 days. Like maybe once a month I get ice cream, and usually the amount of ice cream is not as big. But basically, the one we got was huge, and I love vanilla ice cream and French vanilla ice cream. That's the brand we usually get. I used to try to say, oh, I'm never gonna have sugar and cut sugar completely out of my diet and do nothing at all with sugar, but I changed from that. Every now and then I get sugar, and I don't think it actually is a bad thing or anything. Oh, off topic. What other thing? Everyone knows that Taylor Swift got married. Well, some people, and they donated like $25 million to charity when they got married. That is really cool and great. But some people were complaining that they blocked off somewhere in New York City where most people drive or walk or something. I'm not really sure. I just heard somebody talk about it, but I didn't really go and look it up. But I wonder if Taylor Swift is gonna have any children. Some people say that they don't want to have people follow her, but I think it's because she's like an average kind of person. Like she sings, but she doesn't have one of the most amazing voices, but she tries and she does her best, and she sings a song and she performs on stage and stuff like that. So I think people find her relatable, and that's why they love to talk to speak. Sorry, that's why I like to follow and listen to her songs. And then yesterday, my mom made her pancakes from scratch. Every Saturday, she makes pancakes from scratch, and I actually think that is really cool. And they taste really good, and it's one of the best things ever. And then another thing, I watched some clips from Kiki Palmer's podcast on YouTube, and Oprah was on it, and she explained that when she was young, she was man crazy and used to beg her boyfriends to stay with her. And one time, she even held on to her boyfriend's bump, and it fell off, and she was begging him to stay with her. And she said she thinks she learned that from some women in her family because some of them got beat up and then still took the men back. And she realized that she was repeating a cycle, and she had to stop that. And she said she had to love herself more. And then another thing is that she said that she wanted to make her show intentional and change people's lives. And you could have told that from her show from back in the day. So that's cool. Oprah is a great lady. Some people don't like her, but I think that she's kind. And then I looked up this new song from this guy called Romain Virgo. He's from Jamaica, and it's a new reggae song, and I actually thought it was a great song. It's called Lay My Head, and I love it because of all the emotion and vulnerability in it. I've been checking week after week for Koto Star, the channel on YouTube, to basically add more songs to their reggae albums, but they didn't add one for June or July yet. And that's where I get my songs. I don't really pay attention to reggae on Spotify because I think there's too many songs about cannabis on there, and I'm not really about that. So, but I usually love reggae once they're not talking about drugs. That's what I actually like. And then I'm still seeing angel numbers every day. Like recently, I saw 222 and 1111, and sometimes 111. The same thing as 1111. And sometimes I see, for example, it could be 801, and I also see 81 at the same time. And I count that as being an angel number. Sure, it's great to get signs from heaven. I think it also is signs from my grandfather. His name is Laughter Richardson, and his nickname was Papa. And he was cool. I liked him a lot. I tried to watch some cricket yesterday. I watched some of the cricket match for Desert Vipers and Guyana Amazon Warriors in the Global Super League. But I didn't really watch all of it because I don't really like some of the sponsors. And that's just my preference. A lot of people don't mind, and that's great for cricket, and that's great for them. And then I watched some of a track and field tournament taking place in it's taking place in New York City. I think it's like the American trials or something to see who will make the team for this year. So that's cool. And I also love to look at. I like to research things about pregnancy and children and stuff like that. And I've been learning tons. So like I learned recently about perineal massage before um, labor and delivery some weeks before. It helps your labor goes better when you're pushing the baby out. So that's good. It's always amazing to me that people get pregnant and get children more than once because it seems extremely serious. Well, I actually read this lady. She said that her and her husband were extremely healthy. Like they didn't drink, smoke, do any drugs, and they tried to be as healthy as possible. And she said that her pregnancy went extremely smooth. She said she was all like 20 weeks pregnant and she didn't have any negative pregnancy symptoms. So it really is possible to do that. But another lady was saying that both of her and her partner are both healthy, but she still had terrible pregnancy symptoms. So maybe it's also is genetics and stuff like that. And then Nevis has this festival called Culturama. It's like a carnival event. They had their calypso show, their prince and princess show, their Mr. Cool show, and um they're having an athletic meet over there too. They invited Saint Kitts, Saint Martin, I think, and Gwilla to all participate in the track and field event. So that's cool. My mom was saying if people from Saint Kitts if they don't go over to Nevis for Culturama, people in Nevis don't actually make money from Culturama because Nevis actually is a really small island. They have like the population is really low. I think it's like 11,000, so that's why people have to go over there and do stuff. And then last week the Grill Fest competition, I heard that Team Grenada won, so I guess they were able to make the best food at that place. I put some Methodist church on this morning for my grandmother again. I was researching their school. They teach children about integrity and honesty and some Bible stuff. Like I was trying to read the whole Old Testament and reread the New Testament, but I find the Old Testament too violent for me. So I took a break, but then today I decided I'm gonna go and listen slowly but surely to the books in the Old Testament that don't have a lot of violence in it, and I read that Ruth, Ecclesiastes, and I think Song of Solomon, they're not as violent. So I was gonna listen to those on YouTube, and then I might eventually go back to Deuteronomy and continue going to the Old Testament. Like that's one of the reasons why I never really was about religion that much because I didn't really understand why people are worshiping a book with so much violence in it. But maybe they're saying that Jesus came and he did the opposite of that. He said to love your neighbor as yourself and stuff like that. So yeah. And I like to look at different schools in St. Kitts to see which ones I would like. So I like Tucker Clark Primary School, and I keep on off and on liking the Methodist School, Epworth Marcella Memorial Junior School. But maybe it might be better because it teaches more about like being kind and stuff like that. So yeah. And it's nice. It's been it's been nice and kind of rainy yesterday and today, which is good um because we've been having a drought like all over the world. Actually, have been having droughts, and I actually saw tons of floods. I saw a flood in Texas, in Queens, in New York, in New Jersey, and also in Rhode Island, and also India. Like it's crazy how many floods happen happening. And I know it's an El Nino year, and I think they said when it's El Nino, um, the weather is more extreme. So, for example, you might have an extreme drought, or you might have an extreme flood, and that's not good at all. And the Sahara dust is still coming to St. Kitts, which is bad for people with asthma and sinus problems and allergies. But it actually weakens hurricanes. But I think overall it's a bad thing because some people actually um, can pass out and die and stuff like that from that. So it's not good. So do you guys like any sports? Like, what do you guys like to watch on the television? Let me see. What can I speak about? Yeah, well, um, right now, St. Kitts and Nevis, they're having a lot of summer camps, and that's cool. And I'm not sure if Ice Team is having a summer camp, but they actually have different things. They teach pop and rock keyboards. They teach the piano. They teach the steel pan. They teach singing, and some of them they actually teach them in different levels, connected to some kind of college, which is really great that they do that. So children can um, they can they can go up different levels if they're good in things like that. But yeah. um, we took a walking. Me, my mom, and grandmother took a walking for exercise, and I read that 200 to 300 minutes of walking at your normal pace. That actually is the recommended amount of exercise from the World Health Organization. So that's great. And speaking of health, I wonder if the bacteria or whatever it was, if it's still on the fruits, a lot of the fruits and the vegetables in the USA. I know people were having exploding diarrhea. It's really sad. And I didn't really check to see if it's getting under control or not. But many people are stopping doing that. I even saw this Jamaican Jamaican guy who lives in Florida. He said he was supposed to eat start his diet, but no, he's been eating Domino's pizza, and he's been eating cookies instead of fruits. And he was like, "What is this?" He said, "How am I gonna eat all these slices of pizza?" So that's cool. And yeah, last week my grandmother's brother in Jamaica, Orel, died. I'm not sure how old he was, but it's always kind of sad for some family members when their siblings die and stuff like that. And I like to watch this Jamaican family called the Mitchells, like Meet the Mitchells, on YouTube. The guy's name Wayne Mitchell, but stage name is Wayne Marshall, and the woman she used to go, sing under the name Tammy Chin with a Y, but her real last name is with an I. And a lot of the children had birthdays. One of the sons recently celebrated the birthday, and I think the week before their daughter also celebrated her birthday. So she's 4 years old, and their second to last child is also 10 years old now. So that's really cool. And his name is Atlas. I think that's a really cool name. It helps the children learn about the world. And then Wayne actually has a son with someone else who's the oldest one. His name is Gio, and that's also cool too. It helps you learn about geography and stuff like that. And also, what I love is that they have a garden that Tammy has been making, and I've been seeing these wonderful, beautiful sunflowers that she's been growing in her garden. I think it's so cool. This looks so pretty. I didn't even realize that sunflowers could grow that well in our climate. I don't even know why. I guess I didn't realize it could be like a tropical plant. So yeah. Oh, and also one of their sons, the second oldest one, but the first one for Tammy, he's getting really tall right now. He just needs like 2 more feet to be tall like his mom, and then he might pass his dad. And he wasn't even really that tall last year. Tall, he's growing really fast. So that's serious. Off topic, the Caribbean Examination Council, they're stopping a lot of SBAs for high school students and college students. So we're getting rid of a lot of the subjects because of AI. The students would have the ability to cheat really easily. But one thing I love what they're doing, they plan to split all of the subjects into three different exams, which is great. So basically, instead of one big exam um, that students do, they're splitting it into three separate exams. So if you can pass it in stages, so that students could leave with subjects, because they're saying that many students leave school and they don't really have a lot of subjects, and they want them to be able to do that. And even after high school, they want them to be able to continue in a subject and complete it if they want to in college. So that's really great. But some subjects like art and physical education, technical drawing, and sciences, they're not really getting rid of the SBS. But I think they're saying that they would allow them to brainstorm ideas, but they can't use um, AI for that. And some teacher I was seeing on TikTok, he was saying 32 out of 35 of his students used AI for the college part of the college midterm, and he was saying why did they do that if they didn't think he was gonna find out. And I saw this other teacher. She has this extension that can go into Google Docs, and um it can tell you sorry, it can tell you if they use AI or not. So that's cool. But I like the fact that the Caribbean Examination Council is making it easier to graduate from high school, because it was way too hard for no reason. Like, there's no reason to test people on that much information at one time. So I'm happy for the future generations. So yeah. Oh yes. The police in St. Kitts Nevis, they're actually having a football/soccer summer camp. They say it's to prevent crime, so they have the children doing football. And I recently started following this lady who's always videotaping her daughter. She actually plays on teams with boys and against boys, and I guess she's 10 or something. And she's really great in football. That's cool that her child is talented, and that everyone is talented in their own way. And this other person I follow, her husband draws, and the child also draws, and she's always drawing, and she got that talent from him. And I think that, I'm not sure, I think her mother actually is also good in art. So some children, they really come out like their parents. They have the same kind of talent as their parents. And she also put her report card up. Oh, I don't know if she asked her child, but she put it up. Her child did really well. Like, she said her child was complaining that the exams were really hard, but she passed everything well except math. But that's not really anything, because she was doing 10 subjects. Like, the Ministry of Education in St. Kitts, they love to give the children too much stuff to do. Once they're doing work, they always add on more work. So I'm guessing that she's in a high grade, like a A1 or something, like a stream. They stream you by how well they do put in different classes. But maybe they stopped that because I don't really see them saying A1 and A2 anymore. They have different names of like wild cats for Washington Asheville High School. Like it's called the Washi Wildcats. So basically, I'm not sure, but basically, I think she's doing too much stuff. But that's what they make the children do. And before she was doing badly in technical drawing, but she did well in the exam. So I'm guessing that she practiced a lot at home and she read the textbook. I was really bad at technical drawing, but I only did it for one term because I moved to schools in the last term of grade 8, and basically that's why I had to do that. But I don't think the teachers graded me correctly. I think they just gave me a low score because um, I just moved there, so they can't really give me a grade on the whole subject because I wasn't even there to learn it. Anyways, anyway, so I hope you guys have a great Sunday, and I hope the rest of your week goes well.